burning sand.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today, as we've been on hiatus a little bit during, obviously, the COVID-19 pandemic. But plus, two, our engineer was in and putting in our new control board, so we're going to get a chance to get that all taken care of here during our first guest coming up here in just a little bit. We do want to thank our fine Wyoming Sports Talk today sponsors, Taco John's of Cheyenne, where, again, it's Taco Tuesday, as it's Cinco de Mayo tomorrow. But remember, Taco John's of Cheyenne, where you can go through the convenient drive-thru. And, again, too, you can use the Taco John's app for delicious Tex-Mex. Again, you'll find them on South Greeley Highway, downtown on KRAE Avenue, right down the road from us on Del Range and Ridge, Persian and Ridge, and on Yellowstone Road. Kia of Cheyenne, over on Nation Way. Now, you can do one of two things. You can head into the dealership where they're sanitizing hourly, and they got hand sanitizer there, or you can go online, KiaofCheyenne.com, and do your buying experience that way, where they will work out the pricing, the buying and leasing prices. You can check out the inventory online, plus over at Kia of Cheyenne, you can also do your trade-in online. Yeah, it's just follow the prompts, and this is sight unseen trade appraisal. They'll go by Kelly Blue Book for your present vehicle. Again, Kia of Cheyenne. They'll even come to your place and deliver as well. AJ Miller and the crew, and want to do business face to face, but hey, they're looking forward to doing business with you any way they can, and you can give them a call at 775-0123. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Banking done, right now through the drive-through way. It's a pretty simple drill. At least you'll be dealing with on-site people at Platte Valley Bank. Again, 2 locations, Vanda High, and, of course, over at the corner of College and Pershing. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range, right across from Powers Field and Menards. Ray and Cindy invite you to come on out for 3 delicious squares, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 2 convenient drive-thrus. Again, curbside takeaway, when you order. And you can also use the app for Chick-fil-A. And, again, you can do all of your business via the phone, and it'll be waiting for you when you get there. Again, remember, do sample their breakfast over at Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, right across from Powers Field and Menards. Medicap Pharmacy, for all your pharmaceutical needs. Again, Gene and the staff, they welcome you inside. Again, they're practicing social distancing. And, of course, they got the convenient drive-thru. They're open Monday through Saturday. And, again, they'll fill all your prescriptions with your doctor's permission. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue. Bruce and the crew invite you to come on in. Now, you got 2 doors you can go through. You can go through the sales door, where they have GE, Maytag, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, and others to sell to you today. And then, of course, the service entrance right next door. And, again, if you need some service done, and I do want to thank them for the job they did on my refrigerator, really in a time that we needed it, they came through and clutched and got it all fixed up. B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue in Cheyenne. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. Heather reminds you, again, with this situation that we're in, their office hours are from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m., Monday through Friday at the 1020 Dunn Avenue location. They're still doing repairs. There's the paint shop still going strong, and the Auto Glass and Detail Center as well on Pershing Boulevard. But give them a call to set up an appointment time to come on in for an appraisal, or again to go to the Auto Glass and Detail store. And again, that is 634-6608 for Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, where Tim invites you to come on in. They're practicing the social distancing thing. Give them a call, 632-3500. They're offering their banking services Monday through Friday. Mondello's Pizzeria right across the street at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. And for Joe, now celebrating his 5th decade in business here in Cheyenne, again with that East Coast Paisan cuisine, being assisted by his brother and his nephew. And again, Joe invites you to try his pizza first, ranked in the top 10 in the nation by the Food Network folks. And, of course, always at Mondello's, you're going to have fresh-made pizza, Always on that fresh made dough. Fresh baked breads for those delicious sandwiches, the Philly cheesesteaks or the hot and cold Italian subs. All kinds of ingredients to put on your pizza, always fresh, and the bottom line, always delicious. Calzones, strombolis, and other good stuff for you. Always from Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Oh, by the way, you can go right to the takeout window up front, and they'll have everything waiting for you there too. So again, thank you to Joe. And we're not close, but it's coming. Our scoreboard, which is brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We don't have any scores to report, but it's still brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Are we at all close to getting the scoreboard? Again, not even quite sure about it. I don't think you're going to hear out of those headphones, as I just realized what the problem was. As we my headphones work as it's plugged into the back of the board, so you need to figure out something to get that all squared away before our next guest's on, because you won't be able to hear them. So.
And I'm looking right now, and I'm drawing a blank, so we're pretty much hosed over here. All right, well, with that all being said, our lack of scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
At Mountain Dew, we say here's to the doers.
The people who know you gotta do what you gotta do.
Who do it big.
Then do it bigger.
Who don't just watch.
So if there's something you wanna do,
Here's a little advice.
Grab yourself an ice-cold Mountain Dew.
and get to it.
That's right. Get going.
Get started.
Stand up.
Jump up.
Grab hold of it.
Throw down on it.
Run with it.
Now, right now.
Not tomorrow.
Not next week.
Next month.
Next year,
Work it out.
Grind it out.
get stoked.
Get passionate.
And do it.
Do it till it hurts.
Do it till you can't.
Do it till you've done it.
And most of all, don't ask how other people do it.
Don't ask how you should do it.
Don't ask if it can be done.
Don't ask if it's ever been done.
Because there are those who don't.
And those who do.
At Mountain Dew, we say,
Let's do.
Let's do.
Let's do.
Let's do.
do the do.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Family owned and operated Lennox Auto Body, along with the Auto Glass and Detail Center, has been serving our community for over 25 years with quality service and workmanship. So when you want it done right the first time, call Lennox Auto Body at 634-6608 for an appointment. Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue. And the Auto Glass and Detail Center, remember, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean at 617 East Pershing Boulevard.
Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
What is Schwab's modern approach to investing? It's great service. It's transparency about how much you're paying in fees and commissions. It's offering some of the lowest costs in the industry backed by a satisfaction guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, they'll refund the eligible fees and work with you to make things right. So ask yourself, are you getting low cost and award-winning service? If not, maybe it's time to call Schwab. Visit Sam at the Cheyenne Independent Branch or schwab.com/Cheyenne for more information. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
With all this newfound time at home, it's good to get an easy win for the whole family. So this month, we're turning Taco Tuesday into Taco Tuesday. Get our 6-pack and a pound. That's 6 savory beef tacos and a pound of crispy potato olays for $2 off any day of the week. Taco John's. See you in the drive-thru.
Drive-thru still open for all your family's favorites with easy ordering on the app and delivery at participating locations with the Taco John's app. Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI-FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local. Serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE. At First Tier Bank, we are proud to be a member of this great community and will always support all of our high school athletes. First Tier Bank takes great pride in sponsoring the live broadcast of the games and would like to wish all of our teams good luck. We share the credo with Newt Rockney when he said, "One man practicing sportsmanship is far better than 100 teaching it." It's all about the high school sports at First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, Cheyenne.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Well, the lines for today, mostly sunny with a slight chance for showers and thunderstorms cropping up this afternoon. Expected daytime high near 61. Mostly clear for tonight with a low down to 32. Sunshine on tap for tomorrow. We're calling for a daytime high near 64. And for Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a low down to 35 degrees.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
And welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today. Once again, Larry Proetti along with Nick Proetti. And we bring on our first guest, Tyler Poslosky, who is a scribe with the Wyoming Tribune Eagles Sports Department. So we're glad to have Tyler on board. Tyler, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Anyway, Tyler, well, we're going to get going here. And again,
I'm assuming you did not hear any of that. At least correct is that?
Yeah, because what I'm looking at here.
So it sounds like we have more issues here going on with this interview, correct?
For me, it is.
Yeah.
Is it okay with you on your side?
Yeah, I can certainly hear it.
Okay, well, why don't you go ahead and start it, and then I'll work on my side here and try to figure out what's going down.
All right, well, we apologize. As we got new systems in. We have all sorts of things going on here, Tyler. So, again, appreciate you joining us here today. We brought you on, or at least we've been talking back and forth a little bit, trying to get you on. Wanted to get kind of your thoughts, your opinions on what's going on in the sports world, what is happening on the local side that you've noticed of recent. And we'll start on the local side, some of the big news that has come out, especially regarding LCCC in some of the local high schools, that being with Cheyenne East, Tyler. It was announced earlier that McCord Twins, kind of a big surprise, committed to LCCC basketball to go play with interim head coach Dwayne Salisbury. Your thoughts on those seniors coming over from Cheyenne East, now playing with LCCC, joining the ranks of Eric Oliver, also to Onyx Jackson, and being a part of that new squad over there at LCCC?
You know, when I found out about that, it was really interesting, watching, those two play. It's entertaining every time. It doesn't really matter who they're playing. The things that they have in common with one another, they know each other's games very well, back and forth, and to be able to, have them on the same court, like you mentioned, is, Eric Oliver and Onyx Jackson. I mean, I think, LCCC got a couple of really good players who I believe are going to go on to the next level, just like I believe, a lot of those guys over there at LCCC are. I think it's going to be a fun team to watch next year. I know that this year was disappointing in a lot of ways, but they've got some talent there.
So, Tyler, at least where we've been kind of sporadic with the sports show, obviously, again, we've kind of, or at least I've spouted out the motto of, hey, we're not going to bore you with repeating old history or, again, looking towards the past. Hey, when news is relevant, like that signing by the McCord Twins, or updating what is happening with Post 6, or, again, the Expedition League, which, again, we'll get into in today's show. But, over there at Wyoming Tribune and Eagle, for you, Tyler, and crew over there, what's kind of been on your agenda, or what's kind of kept you guys going right now, where sports is kind of at a standstill, especially on the newspaper route?
It's pretty slow. I mean, we try to come up with different feature ideas. We've been fortunate to have a lot of these signings over the last little while. I did a piece on Jaden Ramsey, I think last week or the week before, might have been last Sunday. East wrestler battling cancer. And that story just kind of took off as far as, I think there were two younger wrestlers that started, raising money for this kid that they don't even know. They don't even know him, but because they participate in the same sport, and they've raised so much money, and so to see that take off and knowing that that's the impact that you can have on a community and things like that, that's something that makes you feel great, makes you feel awesome. right now, I mean, like you said, there's not much going on. Hopefully here soon we're going to start picking up again. With some things, but it's as you can, I'm sure it's tough.
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, it's kind of living life day by day right now, trying to piece together what is kind of relevant news, or again finding that kind of community story that's happening here. Which again, there's plenty of it, especially from University of Wyoming to what's happening on the local side. Again, also to without at least throughout the region. But news kind of broke today, Tyler. I want to get your thoughts on this again as you kind of cover high school athletics. This being a high school athletic that's supposed to be underway, at least if COVID-19 did not exist in some other timeline, but it was announced today, or at least it's been in murmurs, but now it was official that today is the first day of practice for American Legion baseball. Again, that includes Cheyenne Post 6 and the other Legion teams here across the state of Wyoming. Again, Commissioner Cody Beers has made that official that Monday, May 4th. Again, outside of safety plans, again, there was a whole list of safety rules and regulations that each team had to follow before May 15th, where it sounds like that's where the start of the actual baseball season should start for the American Legion. But I came out from Phil Maggard, board president of Cheyenne Post 6 baseball, which we will talk to in the 4 o'clock hour, but announced that for Cheyenne Post 6, they're one of the few teams right now in the state of Wyoming, due to the fact of what's happening here again, sanctions or at least regulations by the city of Cheyenne that they cannot step on Powers Field or any other athletic facility here, at least owned by the city of Cheyenne. Want to get your thoughts on that of what is happening with Post 6 baseball. Will this get resolved by them in the city of Cheyenne? Will they be able to play baseball this season with American Legion?
I know. I would hope so. Because if they can't, then that would be a real shame. But I think it'll get resolved. I can't just wave a wand or anything for it to get resolved. But I would hope that everyone can get on the same page. And that's I know Coach Tyler and his staff, his players, pretty well. I know that they just want to play. It's a really good sign to know that they're taking that first step, and true, they may not be able to have access to Powers Field right now, but to know that they're able to practice as a team, no matter where they're at, it's encouraging. Some steps that could be taken to kind of get the season going. All of it's positive, so I would hope that it could get resolved. But I think like you and I think we'll just have to wait and see how that goes.
Hey, Tyler, Larry Perotti here. Real quick, wanted to ask you a question, and I read it this morning, actually saw it on Saturday. And again, you, along with us and our business, it's been quite a struggle during COVID-19. And, of course, the newspaper put out the notice that June 4th you're going to be dropping a day on the newspaper. But I want people to understand that you and Jeremiah and staff still are going to be keeping up with sports. Just because the solid paper won't be coming to us, they still have another access to check out sports with you.
Yeah, our jobs don't change, whether that's, if we have a print edition on a certain day or we don't. Whenever there's a game or games to cover, just like before this whole thing hit, it's the same. It gets busy. It's busy a lot of the time. I know summer isn't as busy as, say, fall or winter, but we still do our jobs, and we try to do our best to get the community the news that they deserve, the news that they need, and the stories that need to be told. So, I know that times are tough right now, but I can assure you that everyone, not just sports, but everyone at the Tribune Eagle is doing everything they can to put out a really good product that people can be proud of and that people deserve.
Tyler, I want to get your thoughts on at least sports in the future, where, again, we're already talking about the possibility of American Legion Baseball getting underway here in the state of Wyoming, hopefully softball with Cheyenne Extreme and the other softball programs here in the state, and, again, so on and so forth with the Expedition League, where, again, you got Casper Horseheads, Western Nebraska Pioneers of locale, and, again, moving into those fall sports, at least high school athletics here in the state of Wyoming, especially here in the city of Cheyenne. But want to get your thoughts on, or at least kind of break out your own crystal ball or your opinion on what sports going to look like, especially on the local side for high school athletics. Are we going to see no crowds in attendance for the remainder of 2020 here in the city of Cheyenne? At least, are we going to see limited fans? What do you kind of anticipate for high school athletics, from baseball to football to 2021 basketball here in the state of Wyoming?
Man, you put me on the spot here, but it's really hard to kind of see one way or the other. I hope that it doesn't pop back up. From reading things and watching things, people have that opinion that it very well could pop up and kind of combine with the flu in the fall and in the winter, which would present another situation that we'd all probably like to avoid. It'll be interesting, I'll tell you that much. I think the summer sports are different. You generally don't have as many fans as you would, say, football games, and then you move into the winter sports, or even volleyball in the fall, and then basketball and wrestling, where everybody's inside. And there's a lot of people that can be packed into one facility. So it's really hard to tell. I mean, I hope that things can get back to normal, but it's not, I feel like it's not going to be like it was last year, the year before. It's going to be different. There's going to be things that have to be done to ensure the safety of everybody, I believe, to make sure that everything can go on as safely as possible. But, going back to normal, it's hard to see that right away. But, I hope it does. It's just, it'll be interesting. I do hope that, they're able to play. Having to lose out on pretty much all of state basketball and then the entire spring sports season was very unfortunate. I understand why that happened. The health and safety, I think, come first for everybody. But, I think, having time to kind of possibly, stop the spread of this horrific virus over the summer, who knows what impact or how that'll affect, sports down the road here.
Tyler Poslosky joining us, Wyoming Tribune Eagle sports writer. Tyler, and we had a conversation with Tom Berman here about a month ago, and, hoping that UW will be able to get those fans back in the seats here in September. Do you feel that it's going to be up to the major sports like baseball / hoops, hockey, when they eventually can allow fans to come and watch, and then it's going to have that trickle down where it will go to the collegiate side and then down to the high schools, where people, once the big leagues are in operation, then they'll have that trickle down. Everybody will feel good about going back out and watching them play.
I do. I know that talking with Mr. Wilson, with the State Athletic Activities Association, part of the reason why they did what they did was because they saw what the NBA, what the pro sports, the college sports were doing. But I think that'll be a comforting feeling, knowing that, hey, the upper levels are now allowing fans back in venues, and okay, now maybe we could take that step too. So I do. I also think it'll be up to, obviously, the state and the county health officials to make sure everything is safe and good to go. But I think that would be a very encouraging sign when pro sports can go back on, and then you get college sports back on, and just, like you said, just that trickle down domino effect for sure.
Well, one thing's for sure, I know Nolan wants to get playing ball for the Rockies, right? That's costing him about $200,000 a game that he's not playing. Real quick, I want to keep it in Denver. Real quick, draft day, and we really haven't had a chance even to absorb all of the draft. I know Nick and myself, being 49er fans, not too disappointed in what we got, but looking at the Denver Broncos draft, they went outside on their first couple of picks. They went wide receivers, and of course, in the meantime, they've also said adios to Garrett Bowles, Mr. Hands. Mr. I get a holding penalty about every fifth play. But the bottom line is, what do you look at the Broncos draft picks for the 2020 season?
With what they have in Drew Lock, I think they had a really impressive draft. I would have liked, especially since they let go of that offensive lineman, for them to go after maybe a tackle, maybe a Tristan Wirfs from Iowa. But for what they got, I mean, giving Drew Lock all these weapons, and you get the tight end out of Missouri, who was an absolute monster. He was here in Laramie for the season opener last year. I mean, I think that offense is going to be pretty unstoppable with a lot of these newcomers coming in, and then you have, Drew Lock, the backfield, the defense. I think that'll just continue to get better.
One last thing for me, too, looking at the AFC West, it looks like in the AFC West draft, everybody went after Kansas City. Everybody went offensive-minded in this particular draft. So even though KC, the defending Super Bowl champions, and, well, I'll tell you what, they're just going to be another tough customer to beat, but all three of the AFC West teams all went offensive-minded.
Yeah, and I think that's the trend now. I mean, you want to get obviously, the Broncos didn't take a quarterback early with some of those early picks, but you want to find that next Patrick Mahomes. Now, I do feel like Drew Lock is, may not be Patrick Mahomes, but Drew Lock is pretty dang good. I think he's only going to get better. But you're right. I mean, people are chasing the Chiefs. That high-powered offense, that kind of system where you score just in bunches. And you kind of seen over the past number of years where it's kind of shifting to where that's where this league is going, to the flashy offenses, touchdowns all over the place, points all over the board, and you're kind of going away from that defensive-minded. Some teams are like that for sure, but it'll be interesting to see. I think the division got a whole lot better as a whole for sure.
One last final thought for me, for you, Tyler. Again, as we keep on the pro side of sports, looking to, going on with the theme of today's show, or at least our interview with you, Tyler. And again, appreciate you joining us today on Wyoming Sports Talk today. But as we get the rumors that, hey, MLB might be looking to start up here in the month of June, and they're looking to change into this West Central East where there is no American League, no National League. They're just looking to clump in and get as many games as they can get in. NBA is looking like they're pretty much going to be kaput, no playoffs. NHL's kind of flirted with it, and then NFL. We'll see what happens with the NFL. NFL so far is looking like it's going to be on pace to get underway this fall in 2020, but do you foresee any cancellations, any postponements with MLB, with NFL? Could NBA come back at a point in time to do postseason? What are your thoughts on pro sports getting back into kind of normality, or trying to put on some sort of event, whether it is in front of no fans or limited fans? Just what are your thoughts on the pro levels here for the rest of 2020?
I think when you look at the National Basketball Association, the National Hockey League, you have obviously two sports that are, almost done with their regular seasons, and then looking ahead to the postseason, when, they had to hit the pause button in early to mid-March. I think, I know that, I think I read the other day where NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman was toying with the idea of possibly pushing back the start of the 2020-2021 season to December, just so that they can play hockey over the summer. I think one problem you get into there is in a lot of the cities it's hard to keep the ice in good condition with how hot it is outside. But that's beside the point. I do envision them coming back. Whether they do finish out the regular season, I don't know. I think it would be nice to get a couple of games in before you just jump straight to the postseason. I mean, you have such a long break, and then you're telling everybody to ramp up for the postseason. And I don't feel like the quality of games that you expect would actually be there right away, at least not in the first, few games of each series, which would be disappointing. And I think the same thing for the NBA too. I think Major League Baseball and the NFL particularly, with the baseball season being so long, I mean, yes, you could have, a truncated schedule where you play 80 to 100 games, but you could still play the majority of your season. You would need, a few weeks for spring training, again, like a modified one. In the NFL, I mean, they're kind of, just kind of on the other side of it because they won't start training camp until July. But yeah, I mean, it is. I do see them coming back. I'm not sure I would expect fans in buildings right away. I think that would be something that they would hopefully work toward in the future. But I think that you want to be able to take every precaution necessary, because the worst thing that could happen is you start back up and boom, a couple players on one team test positive, fans start testing positive, and then this whole thing just balloons up again. But I think gradually, you would like to see that all come back.
Well, Tyler, we want to thank you so much for joining us today on Wyoming Sports Talk today. And
again, apologies for the technical issues again, but hopefully we can make this a recurring thing with you, Tyler, of every Monday joining us, giving your thoughts. And hopefully once we get further into the month of May, hey, we'll talk American Legion baseball, Cheyenne Extreme softball, get back into that some sort of normalcy, or at least start covering actual sports, whether it is here in the city of Cheyenne or at least here in the state of Wyoming, or again, kind of regionally. At least here in the Rocky Mountains. So again, appreciate you joining us today, and again, thanks for kind of bearing with us there early on.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to be back with more of Wyoming Sports Talk today, right after this here on 1480 KRAE.
Has a local warehouse where they stock a variety of appliances in a wide range of colors and finishes, including black and white. Their friendly staff realizes that one look isn't for everyone, and appliance shopping isn't always convenient. B&B Appliance offers free in-town delivery and disposal of your old appliances. They'll be there for you after the sale too, because they always service what they sell. B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
What if your bank was more than a bank? What if they gave their resources and the time and talents of their employees to make their community just a little bit better? At Platte Valley Bank, we do just that. Hi, this is Rick Flood, president of Platte Valley Bank, and we are proud to support local events, causes, organizations, and charities that make our area a great place to live. Platte Valley Bank, putting our customers and communities first. Stop in or check us out at pvbank.com.
If you're looking for fun and style, then the new 2019 Kia Optima has what you need. And here at Kia of Cheyenne, we can help you own one. I'm AJ Miller, and the 2019 Kia Optima will reward your daily drive with comfort, performance, and advanced engineering. Kia Optima technology, your phone allows access to remote lock or unlock, climate control, 24-hour roadside assistance, and much more. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
Directly across from Powers Field and Menards are proud sponsors of the student athletes for the 2019-2020 school year for high school and LCCC. Not only do they support the athletes, but they are ready for your next cater-out event, meeting, or gathering. A special thank you to Chick-fil-A and all they do for 1480 KRAE and our sister station KYOI-FM during the year. For more information, call Chick-fil-A at 638-4444.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned, full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Proetti along with Nick Proetti. And, good news. We got a hold of the engineer, so come up here tomorrow and finish up a couple of things that he negated to get done. But, again, I like the new sound that we got coming out of there. So, again, we're looking forward to, hopefully we'll get back at it here and be broadcasting games coming up very soon.
We can only hope so. Again, as
I'm being optimistic.
It's still day by day, and again, you could be optimistic, but again, it's out of our control. Where again, even here in the state of Wyoming, where we'll eventually talk about what recently came out today about this afternoon, where again we all received an email here in the city of Cheyenne. But again, Post-6 baseball, again, it was announced official by Cody Beers, commissioner, who we've had on here beforehand. Again, American Legion commissioner, basically stated out, hey, May 4th, today, Monday, teams in American Legion, whether it is single A, double A, are able to practice. There are no games set official, but again, they are able to practice up until May 15th. But again, schedules have not been set, or at least games are not a guarantee right now, but practices are able for teams. Again, that includes right now Jackson Giants. You have Gillette with the Rough Riders, the two Casper squads up there. Again, throughout Evanston, it's an interesting situation where right now teams had to follow a big list, and we got the list as well too, where we saw what teams had to follow. For instance, during these practice times, there was no more than 9 players, or 9. It wasn't even players; it was just personnel on the field at a time.
All right.
Dugouts were closed. Players had to enter in the ballpark one way, had to exit out another way. Again, these were rules and regulations outlined by Cody Beers, basically to follow Governor Gordon's and also to health officials' kind of recommendations of how we kind of move forward for the next couple of weeks to kind of keep in line with the social distancing and all that stuff.
So we get to phase 2 here about May 15th. Maybe things will be relaxed a little bit. Is that what you're saying? Because that's what the governor said.
There's no guarantee right now. But either way, though, the issue right now is that so far every team, that even includes Jackson, where in Teton County,
they're still closed.
They're still stay at home, at least mandate. But nothing has come out of there saying that Jackson squad can't practice today. Again, we'll see what happens, but
where are they going to practice if it's still shut? If the city of Jackson shut down, where are they?
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to make an exception for Jackson. I would assume that Jackson is not practicing right now for American Legion
Our
baseball.
city's not making an exception for us.
Well, and that's what we're going to get to. And again, we'll talk with Phil, where again, Phil Maggard, the board president for Cheyenne Post-6, sent out an email saying, "Hey, Post-6 right now, due to the city's mandate and orders right now, ballparks are closed. That includes." Softball for Cheyenne Extreme, for everything is closed down. No one is allowed to get on those ballparks. That includes Post-6. So the rest of state of Wyoming, and again, we'll see if Gillette's able to, if Casper is, Sheridan, so on and so forth. But so far, the only official team that we know that cannot step out and practice right now to get ready for the potential season to open up May 15th, or at least post that date, is Post-6.
Well, right now, let's look at this all. From T-ball to Little League to Cheyenne Extreme to men's and women's softball, recreation, City League recreation softball, fast pitch for the ladies. We're talking Babe Ruth League. We're talking Junior League.
So meaning Triple Crown Wyoming as well, too.
Yeah, I would venture to say Triple Crown Wyoming. And, again, you're talking the Legion and all of the offshoot programs that the Legion has, including the Hawks. So, I mean.
Now, again, the Post 6, to follow along with that, or at least those mandates, could still probably do it at the Wyco facility. But, again, I would assume that, and again, we've talked with Ty even before all of this was ever a thing, that the Wyco facility does have limitations. It's not the greatest thing all right, temper back that, not saying it's not the greatest thing, but again, it's not stepping out on an actual ball field.
It's a facility to stay sharp in your hitting skills.
But again, it's closed. It's an indoor facility. So again, you can't get the elements. You can't get the wind. You're not outside, plain and simple.
And you can't have that many people in right now either.
Yeah, but so again, assuming that Post 6 is able to step in the Wyco and still practice right now, but again, they can't step out on Powers or any ball, or at least any field here in the city of Cheyenne.
Now I'll tell you, in my case, Nick, and I'm playing on 2 leagues. One plays at North Glen. We have been told the earliest we can get on a high school field is June 4th. That's in Colorado.
Well, and again, that's up to that Activities Association down there that controls all that.
And then the other field that I play on is at Thornton. So I haven't heard anything on that one.
But again, that's up to the Activities Association down there in the state of Colorado. Here, it's a city thing. It's a city mandate where, from our email, and again, we'll talk more with Phil, get his, at least what they're doing right now for the board, but they are in talks with the city to try and get this figured out, or at least show them of, hey, we'll keep it, keep the athletes safe, the coaches safe, everyone involved safe by following these rules and regulations outlined by Cody Beers, by the Commissioner of American Legion Baseball here in the state of Wyoming. But, it kind of brings up that what if Post 6 is not able to step out on Powers Field? What if Mayor Orr, and again, the rest of those representatives here in the city of Cheyenne, the health department here in this city says, no, you're not stepping out there where other teams are able to, like a Casper, a Gillette, a Laramie, for instance. Does Post 6 basically say, hey, we're just no season then?
Well,
everyone else plays, but we can't.
We only have really 2 facilities for Post 6.
And there's nothing out in the county.
And again, we have not heard anything on Triple Crown Wyoming, okay? Yeah. Have not heard anything on them.
I've reached out many a time.
So let's just say this for Post 6. If they have to practice that type of social distancing with X amount of people on the field, you'd have to use 2 facilities because there's more than 9 guys associated with Post 6. Then also, too, you have to have coming to play over here at Lansing Field, a couple of those fields over here that are used on the Dutcher side for the Babe Ruth teams. But again, I'm just kind of like everybody else right now. We're sitting here in this state of flux. We have to go by what the governor tells us every day. You and me have been watching those press conferences, so we've been keeping up on what the governor has said. And again,
I've given up on listening to anything at this point in time. What I'm saying
is, though, the governor is, again, we're doing this baby steps.
Again,
we started.
You're supposed to follow them, but again, these are not laws, though. Again,
they're not enforceable.
You go out this past weekend here, especially here on this Del Range Road. It looked like as if it was normal life.
Well, look at the golf course. People out golfing too.
Without a doubt. Again, and that's good on people to go out there. And again, I'm one of them, at least with those folks out and about, where it was like. Again, if you didn't know, if you were hibernating, if you were out in the woods, out in the mountains, and you came back to the city of Cheyenne this past weekend, you figured that life was still normal. And good on folks to keep it kind of that some sort of normalcy out here in the city of Cheyenne, again, throughout here in the state of Wyoming. But it's just interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see what the city does. Again, I think not only for Post 6, again, it affects Cheyenne Extreme. It also, too, affects the rec leagues. And, again, that even from the adults to all the way down to the kids, T-ball, YMCA, all that fun stuff. It's going to be interesting to see what they do, if at all, or is it summertime basically going to be shut down for any athletic competition here in the Cap City?
First and foremost, let's get it out and be straight about this. We got to get people that have been dismissed from work furloughed from work. We got to get those people back running again. And again, the city of Cheyenne has also dismissed some people during this time. So again, those are folks that have been in the recreation department. So there are some people that are not there right now. So I would think the first thing, as we open some doors up on Friday, maybe by next Friday we start relaxing a little bit, and hopefully those that have been furloughed have been put on, I don't want to say they've lost their job, but they're getting called back to work. And I think that's the first thing that's most important. Recreation is second, obviously, in this equation. It's putting this community back to work. I know you're going to disagree with me
but again,
on this.
even if you get those recreation, if you're saying secondary, again, those rec programs, again, whether it is Extreme, whether it is Post 6, whether it is Triple Crown Wyoming, and again, those who maintain the fields. What if those are the furloughed employees as well, too, the non-essential workers right now? Because, again, the fields are closed. You don't really need to maintain them right now.
They're out there maintaining their water.
But either way, though, again, there's still opportunities for jobs or folks, though, that relied on, the concession stand workers. Hey, relying on that, need to get out there or something like that. Again, it's just, there's no right or wrong answer right now with what is going on, especially here in the city of Cheyenne. But you wonder what the decision is going to be made, because obviously it sounds like Post 6 is going to be the first one to know, or at least that's going to be the first domino, and then the rest fall along with Triple Crown, with the Extreme, with Rec. And then also, too, what does this city do if it says, hey, no Post 6, no Triple Crown, no softball, hey, summertime is closed? Well, part of summertime at the end of July
if summertime is closed, Nick, that would include
Frontier Days, yeah. Again, could the city afford to do that? No.
I don't think the city can. You're absolutely right. I don't think any of and you know how we are, especially promoting our local businesses. But having a discussion a few years back with then Dave Johansson, who said to me that Frontier Days possibly could go one, maybe two. I mean, if there was a catastrophe,
Frontier Days can survive.
Frontier Days, but you got to realize too, this year, if Frontier Days is a go, we're not going to have the big crowds coming in. It might be halved, it might be quartered. We don't know. So again, local businesses that do depend on Frontier Days, hotels, motels, restaurants, drinking facilities,
again, Frontier Days is set in stone where, again, they, with ad revenue, with all sorts of money that they bring into just that organization, or at least to that whole production for Cheyenne Frontier Days, they're good. They can sustain a year or two, and obviously this would be that year if it came to be. But again, it's more so of what does it do to the city of Cheyenne, and obviously it would be it would hurt even more economically.
Mom and pops that are hanging on by a thread right now, Nick, would be devastated.
Yeah.
And again, too, like I said, I'm not in total agreement with the governor on a lot of his things. I've written him a note to let him know how I felt about stuff. But, we have been fortunate in this state. And let's, again, and even the president said this last night as I was watching his town hall from the Lincoln Memorial. We've had 7 that have passed away. And again, I feel bad for those that have passed away and their families. Again, virus caused or not, it doesn't matter. And again, we've had about 400 plus that have contracted the virus, but
something like that. I've lost.
But half of them, or more than half of them, have recovered from it.
Yeah.
So we're in a very good situation here in Wyoming. Do we want to push the needle, the envelope a little bit? I'm one to say, I think, the weather is nicer. We've heard, and again, we've heard a billion things about COVID-19. It can't sustain, it's not going to, bother you when it's heat.
Humidity is what kept it alive in the South, apparently in Louisiana. Again,
and we're a dry heat here.
There's not been a definitive of this is what this thing is, this is how it survives, this is what it does right now. Again, as we evolve and try to figure out day by day of how to take care of it, or at least what to look for and all that fun stuff about this virus. But
the sky isn't falling. The way it's been presented, the sky is falling, and it's not.
Looking back, where again we talk day after, or at least the day of, where state tournament was canceled for basketball, where again it was us and Chris Polton talking about, hey, was this an overreaction by the entire nation, by the entire world?
No, it's preventative.
No, I get it, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Obviously, it's better to act now than again, get hurt by it later on, or at least, basically not do anything and just let it run its course, where, however many more could have lost their lives due to this. But, do we now, where again, we're seeing the slow ease back into some sort of normalcy, whether it is here in the state of Wyoming, other states, down in Colorado, hey, they said businesses open up, but you got to follow some safety regulations. You got to wear, again, you are required to wear a mask indoors to any business out there in that state. But again, here in the state of Wyoming, where where we are fortunate enough, and again, we're so spread out as is, where it's probably a little bit tougher to contract that virus or spread it. But regarding athletics and sports, is it something that we can just go immediately back into, hey, post 6, you're out on the ball field, fans can pack Powers Field, go to those games? No. We're not at that point. I don't think that's sustainable. That's a smart thing to do. And again, it goes back to our conversation about a couple weeks ago, where I said, hey, baseball may return, but you're probably going to have to watch it from the comfort of your home. And again, it seems like on a national poll that most folks are fine with that, where they would just rather see the sport than it delayed to the point where, all right, we got to wait until, September, November to watch some baseball, due to the fact that, well, we're going to allow some fans into Coors Field or, Oracle Park, whatever it may be at this point. So, again, should Post 6 be able to step out on those fields and follow these safety regulations and be able to practice and get ready for some sort of practice? Absolutely.
Well,
absolutely.
Again,
I think so.
I think when we talk with Phil, we'll get a better idea of what's coming down the road. Okay? Because, again, we got today, May 4th, and, again, we're looking at hopefully May 15th, the next time that we move into phase 2. You call it normalcy. It's not. It's a restart.
I said some, but
yeah, but basically this is a restart, and again, we're just tapping the gas right now. We haven't even accelerated the pedal yet, and even when the governor talks to us here next week and says, "Hey, phase 2, fingers crossed that hey, maybe we will start seeing." Restrictions lifted here, there, and everywhere, and we only can hope. We only can hope that that this thing is.
And obviously, again, those restrictions are up to every individual city and county, because obviously, again, look, the rest of the state of Wyoming was not stay at home for a good month.
No,
but Teton
Jackson
County was.
made their own.
Well, again, that's why I'm just saying, and that's what we're seeing right now. Where again, without giving definitive, at least proof, where again we're just going off of what Phil has sent in the email saying, hey, Cheyenne's the first community, or at least the first ball team, at least baseball club in the state of Wyoming for American Legion that cannot step out on Powers Field due to this happening here in the city of Cheyenne. So again, not sure right now if it's happening in Casper and Gillette over in Laramie.
Yeah, we'll have to get some more info.
Yeah, without a doubt. But again, it is, it was good in theory by Cody Beers to get this underway, or at least try to get American Legion baseball out there going right now across the state of Wyoming, where again the intention was it was only Wyoming teams, and that's how you're going to go forward and have a state tournament. Again, good in theory, but again, it's also too out of his hands, where it's up to those individual cities, those counties, and even the state as well, too, of, again, if Cheyenne says no, well, Post 6 is pretty much, hey, your season's done.
Yeah, but let me ask you this question, though, too, especially with the Expedition League. And our friend who owns the team in Gering as well as
and
Casper.
we'll talk more about that on Wednesday.
I know,
but
I was going to say is I don't think I don't think Gering's allowed him on the field, and I'm sure Casper has not allowed them on the fields yet as well. So again, fields are closed, and again, recreation. Bottom line throughout this state has been postponed due to the virus. So again, UW, you don't see anybody out there in War Memorial.
But I guess the big question with this, where again we'll get more in depth with it here in a few minutes, but is this all for nothing? Is this all kind of I don't want to say a sham, but again,
you're using the wrong word. Is it overreaction? That
no. I think it is a all for nothing scenario of for Post 6, for other American Legion teams of, hey, go out, practice, have a sense that you're going to play some sort of a season this year, but then all of a sudden those communities say, yeah, no, for whatever reason the thing changes. Again, it's day by day right now.
Well,
it has been day by day since early March.
If you have a season, Nick, let's just throw out
just
a
say
date.
There's right now no guarantee that a American Legion baseball season here in the state of Wyoming will start at all.
But let me just say this. Let me just throw out a date. Okay, let's say mid-June, June 15th. Okay, and again too, you got to realize you have to wrap up the season somewhere around mid-August, because if the high schools are going to participate in fall sports, which would be football, a lot of these guys play football for East Central South. So again, you're going to have about a 2-month season, and you're going to try to get as much baseball in over a 2-month period of time within the state of Wyoming. I think you're not going to be playing in Colorado this year. I don't think you're going to be playing in Nebraska. I think everything is going to be Casper, Gillette, Cheyenne, Laramie.
And that was the anticipation. That was something that was outlined where we try to get that from Cody of talking about how this is going to move forward. And that sounds like that's going to be the plan. It will be it will be Wyoming only, Wyoming State Tournament, and that's it. That's all they're going to get.
And realistically, here we are May 4th, and I think when we talked with Ty Lane, Ty said, they needed at least a couple of weeks to get ready. So even if they were out practicing today, that's mid-May by the time they're getting out on the field. And again, mid-May is the anticipation that our state government is going to allow us to restart everything.
And again, that's a few weeks to get out on the field. Again, not to participate in WICO or do anything like that indoors. No, it's to get out on powers, get used to that turf, simulate some games, or at least get some innings in there, and go again, get back to that kind of key phrase of some sort of normalcy. So right now, again, with the city of what they've done, or at least the mandates, which again, not going to argue for or against it at this point in time, but again, it is what it is, and Post 6 has to deal with it. Well, if you need a couple weeks, again, is it something that Post 6 just says, hey, we got to step away because we didn't get a sufficient enough of practices?
Let's get the answers here in a few minutes. So we're going to take a timeout, and we will be right back. We will talk with Phil Maggard, who is Post 6 Baseball Board President, and we'll be back after these words on 1480 KRAE.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
Once again, we thank you for joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk today, being brought to you by Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Give Mondello's a call for delicious Paisan cuisine. Again, Joe beginning his 5th decade in business over at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. First Year Bank's right across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday. Lennox Auto Body, again, with reduced hours at the 1020 Dunn Avenue location, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. But give them a call if you need some work done or an appraisal. Also, too, that will hold true for the Auto Glass and Detail Center, again, all part of Lennox Enterprises, 634-6608. B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Again, 2 doors to go through where they are operating, and you could use the hand sanitizer as you enter. For the sales side, you can check out their Frigidaire, GE, Whirlpool, all kinds of Maytag appliances, all waiting for your home, and they will deliver and set it up for you. And again, too, their service department's right next door where they have hand sanitizer as well. Medicap Pharmacy, For all your pharmaceutical needs, Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse, Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Delrange across from Powers Field and Menards. 2 convenient drive-thrus are offering curbside. And again, use that Chick-fil-A app as you could get everything all taken care of. I do want to mention this. It's a sad note, and a lot of us enjoy it. No ice cream cones for now. And on their milkshakes, no whipped cream and cherries on top. It's just a flat lid. Safety first over at Ray and Cindy's place. So again,
you go over to Albertsons, King Soopers, Walmart, whatever it may be. Go get a can of Ready Whip or whatever. There you go.
Okay. Well, you can do that as well. But again, Chick-fil-A, again, practicing safety first at the corner of Windmill and Delrange across from Powers Field and Menards. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations for you. Use the convenient drive-thrus to get your banking done on Vanda High and at the corner of College and Pershing. Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. You can do your buying online, keyofcheyenne.com. You can still come to the facility. They're sanitizing every hour. Have hand sanitizer. You want to do your business face-to-face. Great, terrific. You want to do it online. You can get prompted to the inventory. You can get prompted on how you want to do the payment structure. And they also will do your trade-in sight unseen at Key of Cheyenne. See my good friend A.J. Miller or give him a call at 775-0123. And we want to thank Taco John's of Cheyenne. They're back. Again, tomorrow, Cinco de Mayo. They had their 5 tacos for $5.55 as they were celebrating Cinco de Mayo. And they also offer their Taco Tuesday promotion at all locations, Delrange and Ridge, Pershing and Ridge, South Side on South Greeley Highway, also to downtown on KRAE Avenue, and on the north side on Yellowstone Road. Again, remember, at Taco John's of Cheyenne, you can use their app as well. And again, use their convenient drive-thrus for 3 squares, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Tex-Mex cuisine at its best, always from Taco John's.
And do want to pass along again with Chick-fil-A as well, too, over there at the corner of Delrange or Windmill, with also two of the Taco John's locations. A lot of them franchise-owned, locally franchised, even though it's a large corporation with Taco John's, with Chick-fil-A, again, that have
locations. The international headquarters is here in town.
Yeah, without a doubt. But again, these are locally owned franchises by locally owned people, again, that employ locally, at least local products as well, too. So, again, it might have the corporate tag on it. Again, it might have stores across the nation, but, again, it is still stores that support.
Mom and pops, you got it.
Still support this community, support this town, and, again, support in each and every way. So,
all right. So, again, we want to thank our good friends at Taco John's of Cheyenne. And we have no scoreboard to report, and that is not, well, it's hopefully the lights will work one day, but our scoreboard always is being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We will take a timeout. We'll come right back.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Kate.
And we're not just literal taste buds. We're best buds.
And there's nothing that we love more than a
cool,
crisp,
deliciously refreshing Pepsi!
Sure, we live inside your mouth.
But that doesn't mean we don't enjoy the finer things.
Hey, Nate. Pepsi incoming!
Here it comes!
Tastes so good.
Tell me about it.
So,
amazing.
That's what I was thinking.
It's like we share the same mouth, Kate.
Forever and ever, Nate.
Make your taste buds happy and pick up a delicious, refreshing Pepsi.
Capital Lumber is number 1 in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Since 1966, family-owned and operated Capital Lumber Company has been the stop for all lumber, paint, tools, accessories, remodel and do-it-yourself projects, and so much more. Now, Capital Lumber Company announces the beginning of a tasty relationship with Traeger grills, as they now have in stock several models of Traeger grills, along with pellets and accessories. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
When you are dealing with the coin shop to buy, sell, or trade your gold, silver, or other precious metals, you will be met with honesty, fairness, knowledge, and exceptional customer service. The Coin Shop has been serving Cheyenne since 1982 and is a respected member of our community. Call David today at 778-7196 to meet privately or visit during regular business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. The Coin Shop, a dealer you can trust, 510 West 16th Street.
10 years ago, the Department of Defense selected High West Energy to provide electricity on F.E. Warren Air Force Base For a decade, we have been proud to work hand in hand with the Air Force leadership to ensure we provide the base with the affordable, reliable power it needs to be an economic driver for the region and serve a vital national security interest for this country. High West Energy, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
With all this newfound time at home, it's good to get an easy win for the whole family. So this month, we're turning Taco Tuesday into Taco Tuesday. Get our 6-pack and a pound. That's 6 savory beef tacos and a pound of crispy potato olays for $2 off any day of the week. Taco John's. See you in the drive-thru.
Drive-thru still open for all your family's favorites with easy ordering on the app and delivery at participating locations with the Taco John's app.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Well, the lines for today, mostly sunny with a slight chance for showers and thunderstorms cropping up this afternoon. Expected daytime high near 61. Mostly clear for tonight with a low down to 32. Sunshine on tap for tomorrow. We're calling for a daytime high near 64. And for Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a low down to 35 degrees.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, hour number 2. We get a chance now to bring on our next guest, and he is with Post 6 Baseball, the board president, Phil Maggard. And Phil, Larry Perlotti, along with Nick Perlotti, we want to thank you for joining us here today. Real quick, getting into the text of our program for this afternoon. Obviously, we all know that Cody Beers, the American Legion state baseball president, said, hey, teams can start practicing today. Unfortunately, for the Post Sixers, I feel like you were given a gun, but no bullets, but we're told to go out and target practice. Kind of unfair, right?
Well, I would say, yeah, unfair, but also let me just start by saying what a cluster this whole thing is. Who would have ever thought that we would be in the position that we are now, trying to have a baseball season? And quite honestly, I just really want to be mad at somebody, but there's nobody to be mad at. There's a lot of really good people working very hard trying to keep everybody safe and make sure that we do this the right way, from the governor all the way down to the mayor and the good people at Parks and Rec, and the county health director is heavily involved, and they've got stuff they've got to worry about. We totally understand that position. I've got 50 kids and a coaching staff and a program to worry about, and that's kind of the angle that I come from. But this has been just mind-boggling and very frustrating, to say the least.
Well, Phil, we talked a bit about it, read off your email that you sent off to various media here in town of what happened, what is the scenario here May 4th with the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers. But for folks, or at least from your mouth, of what is happening right now with Cheyenne Post 6, and again, their organizations of, as practice is supposed to be underway here in the state of Wyoming, what is going on right now with Cheyenne Post 6?
Well, we were able to start practice today, so I know that I've been working all day with the city and the county, and started at the end of last week with the governor's office, trying to get us some availability on a field. As you saw from the document that was sent down from Cody Beers and the State Legion people, we have a very detailed plan in how to go about practicing. One big concern that came up were players wearing masks. In dealing with respiratory therapists when you're doing athletic activities, you don't want to block the airway, so that adds a whole new wrinkle to things. So that's why we've got to keep our social distancing and our people less than 10, so that's why it's 9 or less, and that includes coaches and players. I have not been able to communicate much with Ty today. I know they're practicing in whatever open spaces they can find. My concern is open spaces are not always ideal for baseball, although you would think that they would be. We've got some 200-plus pounders that hit the ball a long way. That's very restrictive on where we can practice. The ground is not always level. There could be a gopher hole in a field somewhere. You could take a short hop on a throw that might bounce incorrectly and catch you in the face. You know, in theory, a baseball field is more smooth and more safe. Not that you wouldn't get a bad hop, but I'm just worried about the safety of these kids. And with my thought process, as long as we're following the rules that the governor has put down, and we social distance and we sanitize equipment and hands and we keep it to 9 or less, how a baseball facility could be any different than a gym. But again, that's not my decision to make, and we are asking for as much consideration as we can get from the state and the city and the county. Been very supportive from the folks at the city. You know, Parks and Rec, they deal directly with a lot of people in the community, so they've caught a lot of heat on a lot of different activities, from playgrounds to fields and all that kind of stuff. I know the mayor has been very supportive. But we've got to work through the county health office. I know that they're working in conjunction with the state. Their big concern right now is they're kind of looking at it as to games, and games add a whole new dimension of problems to this. We're just talking about practice right now, which is like going to work out at a gym. It's very inconvenient, but we can do it in groups of 9 or less. With staggered times and those kind of items, but we really, really desperately need to get on a baseball field. We can get a lot done in open spaces, but at some point you got to go out, as Ty told me, at some point you got to go out and take ground balls. And you can't do that, you know, really even off the grass very effectively, depending upon where you end up at.
Well, Phil, we've all practiced on those type of fields at one time or another in our life. Hey, real quick here, let's take a look at the crystal ball. The governor may push a restart button here coming up next Friday, the 15th. And again, we're all anticipating that button is going to be pushed and we'll be able to relax some more of these restrictions. What are you hearing, Phil, as far as, again, like you said, you're keeping in touch with many folks on the possibility of trying to get onto a baseball field. What's the governor's intention going to be here on that phase 2 of the restart?
Well, what we're hoping for, and this is directly in talking with Cody Beers, and by the way, he was very grateful for you guys having him on, so you know, we can explain the state position. He wanted me to pass that on, but we're hoping that if we move to phase 2, and I am not an expert at this, but if we get to where it's groups of 50 or less, and you start thinking about actual baseball games, you know, we play Gillette. Let's say they've got a roster of 18. We've got a roster of 18. They have 2 or 3 coaches. We have 2, 3, 4 coaches in the dugout. Throw in a couple umpires, some media up there in the press box, somebody to keep a book, somebody to keep the scoreboard. If you even bothered with having an announcer, I mean, you can see how quickly you get to just about 50 folks. So they're talking about having games with no fans. They're talking about fans being able to watch from outside the facility. If you're in Cody and you have a field that's down on the bottom of a hill and people can sit in the stands up on a hill, they can watch a game. Powers Field and Pioneer are really not conducive to fans not being in the ballpark, so that's going to be a problem. Then you start looking at logistics of the ability to have umpires. We have some local umpires that we use, but quite frankly, we have to bring quite a few umpires out of Colorado. Torrington runs into the same issue, bringing umpires in from Nebraska. If you start looking at quarantine issues, and let's say that we're going to go down to Fort Collins and play a game, and then when we get back, we have to do a 14-day quarantine. That hasn't done us any good. So we may be stuck having to play just in-state, which, man, we would take that over not playing at all any day of the week. But as you know, we play teams from multiple states throughout the season. Montana has opened up their facilities and they're practicing. Apparently their Legion commissioner up there is not allowing them to play anyone out of state. And we had games already slated with the Billings Scarlets and the Billings Royals, who are good teams. So those games are not going to happen. Obviously, we're going to have to completely revamp our schedules. That's another issue. And then, the quarantine thing that I talked about with umpires. Travel is an issue. As you can imagine, not only our program, but programs around the state have been decimated as far as fundraising goes. Businesses are not making money. People are not working. People are giving money to food banks. It's just like the trifecta of a perfect storm, with oil being down and businesses being closed and people being unemployed. And I've still got 50 kids and a coaching staff that we want to be able to provide some type of activity for these kids. Kids are going bonkers. I've got 2 of them still at home, and we've gone out and thrown and done some things on our own, but it's just not the same as having to practice with your teammates. And my heart goes out to those seniors in high school that didn't get to have their spring seasons and do their swan song. And we've got kids that are bucking for baseball scholarships, and we need to have a season, even if it's a shortened one, and even if we don't get to play all the opponents that we could have played or would have played. I do know Ty's phone is ringing off the hook with people that are looking for games, and that's really true all the way down through the Wyco 12s. I've got one boy that's really the 8s through 13s for Wyco. They went out, our 12-year-olds went out and won their first tournament in Denver, first weekend of March, and we were great guns sailing along, and then the bottom fell out of that, so everything has still been canceled and kind of up in the air. They've tried to, we play a lot of Triple Crown and USSSA and CABA, and all of those have shut down for the time being, with hopes of getting some type of season in and moving stuff back later. They're talking about going into September, but then you've got kids, that start football, and all those dates still come into play. So obviously at this point we're already in a shortened season mode. I know a good question for us, at what point is it too short to even try? We haven't gotten there yet. We're trying to deal with the direct right now, which we can control, which is basically today, because it changes daily. And right now my big push is to be able to get our kids in a workout mode onto a baseball field here in town, since we've got them to use, and to do it safely and do it the right way and follow all the protocol that we need to follow. And then the next step will be having to worry about games. So I do know that in communications with the county health folks, they're trying to get some guidance from the state on what they're going to do with baseball, lacrosse, soccer, that kind of stuff for summer sports. That's the next hurdle we got to get over, is how we're going to handle the ability to have games, if we even can have games. We're sure hopeful of that. But at this point today, I've got to get these boys on a field.
Phil, real quick, just listening to everything that you've said, and you're a great soundbite guy. I love it. But here's where I'm at with the Legion program. Just like Major League Baseball, they're trying to plan their season, and the Legion guys are going to follow behind, hopefully getting their program. Do you feel like you guys are going to be kind of the flag wavers for all of the other local baseball, softball, Cheyenne Extreme programs to get things underway once you can get onto that field? I mean, do you feel that good about all of our sports programs for the summer getting going?
Well, I don't know if we'll be the flag waver, but we're dang happy to do it. We've been very proactive in the fact that this plan that Cody Beers put down, we had something that Ty put together that was already ready to roll, that's very similar to what Cody put together. So we were already ready with something to follow all the rules. So the second we got a green light, we could at least start to practice. We didn't imagine we wouldn't be able to do it on a baseball field as long as we did it the right way, and we do need to do it the right way. But I would recommend for other organizations out there to come up with something similar. because I think that if you're going to be able to go out and use these public facilities, you're going to have some type of a plan in place, not only for the officials, but for your parents that are very concerned. There's people on both sides of the fence of this issue, as you can imagine, and to have a plan in place and to make sure that you're doing everything in your power to follow it for safety is very important. So my advice to any other group in town would be to make sure that they have a plan in place like what we have here.
Phil, I want to get your thoughts on just the possibility where we've kind of tossed out the kind of good scenario, bad scenario. Well, I'll hit you with the bad scenario for Cheyenne Post 6, where, whether it is coming down from the state, whether from the county, at least health office here in Laramie County, or the city of Cheyenne, whether it is Mayor Orr or some constituent, but is there a possibility for 2020 for Cheyenne Post 6 baseball that those Sixers, that those players are not able to step out on a Powers Field or a Pioneer Park? Or do you feel comfortable that that's not going to happen, that Post 6 is going to be able to step on a field some way, shape, or form at some point in time during the summer?
I don't really like to speculate about that. However, I am very confident that they're going to consider the health of our youth. And I'm not talking about just the physical health. I'm talking about the mental health. And if you drive around town and see the parks and the fields and stuff, you see groups of kids that are gathering. These kids need things to do. And we provide that in a safe and organized fashion that, to me, is far and above any other option that could be available out there. And, we're in this for the kids. We're not in this for our health. We're in this for the kids, and those are my primary concern. And we need to get this activity, baseball, going for them at all levels, but we need to make sure that we're doing it in a safe and in such a way that will meet all the mandates of our state Legion commissioner and commission, and the governor and the city and the county and all that kind of good stuff. But I am confident we're going to get out there. It can't happen soon enough for us. We'd like to be out there today. Gillette already had practice this morning, and from a selfish standpoint, that puts us at a competitive disadvantage to other towns in the state. But I know that the primary concern for these officials is to make sure it's done right and that everybody's healthy, and we totally understand that, and we're with that. We get it, but we also want to work with everybody to follow the rules and make sure we're doing it in a correct way, just like a salon, just like a gym, just like getting your hair cut. We have all that in place and we're ready to roll. We just don't have a field to do it on, and in my opinion, a field is by far the safest place to have a baseball practice.
Whether it is from the city, the rec department, the county, again, health office here in the southeast part of Wyoming. Phil, has anyone outlined a specific timeline, a date of when Post 6 will know the yes or no, or that kind of at least scenario of, yes, you can step back out on the Powers or step back out to Pioneer Park? Has anyone outlined any date or time that you should know an answer?
All I have is from county health that they are in communication with the state to come up with some protocol for summer teams that include baseball and soccer and lacrosse, to name a few, and that they are hoping to have something in a couple days. So I'll take that over nothing, but I would really like to see us be able to get on a field here extremely soon. And I don't know if what we're being told is we're the only program in the state that has not been able to get on a field. Now, that is not completely true, because Jackson tells us that they are not starting today. Apparently, they're supposed to be able to start Wednesday, but that is not confirmed. I know late last week, I think Casper was having some issues, but when the governor opened it up May 1st, apparently that changed. But in talking to Cody Beers, as far as I know at this point today, other than Jackson starting Wednesday, we're the only team that has not been given a green light on a field or a date.
Well, Phil, we want to thank you so much for joining us and giving us an update on everything. And fingers crossed that the Sixers will get a chance. And again, all of the feeder teams that go to Post 6, including the Hawks, all get that opportunity to play some baseball. And again, we just need a couple of fields to open up for you.
CJL, softball, all the way down. We need everybody out doing it. So, yeah, thanks for having us, and thanks for keeping your fingers crossed. We're very, very hopeful.
All right, thanks so much. Phil Maggard joining us here, Cheyenne Post 6 Baseball Board President on 1480 KRAE, giving us his thoughts right now. And again, getting the skinny. Here's what's going on. And again, Nick, you know it as well as I do, and I know your sister and myself. We've all practiced on those fields before, where they haven't been maintained, and you got to watch out for gopher holes and rocks and what have you on the fields.
Yeah.
And you got to find certain areas with only a certain amount of guys or kids, only a certain amount of kids that can be practicing.
Well, and again, it is, as I alluded to, and again, those, at least, it was passed along by Phil, and again, we appreciate giving us at least that insight of, again, what Cody Beers kind of passed down to every team here in the state of Wyoming of how they were going to follow the practice guidelines. But again, that's just practice guidelines. Again, we do not have a definitive on what games are going to look like or how that is. Again, Phil kind of addressed of what I've been talking about of, it's going to pile up at a point in time, but there's probably going to be a good possibility that fans you're not going to be able to attend.
No, as he mentioned, even if the governor relaxes some of the restrictions that are in place, up to 50 people in an outdoor event, which would be a Post 6 baseball game, where again you got 2 teams, 36 players. Coaches, that's going to total out to about 40, 42.
Well, and again,
you're at 50 by the time you get up to the press box.
But also, too, this is something that I would assume Cody Beers and that American Legion staff, or at least that board, is looking into when, those teams are able to step out on a baseball field and compete against Gillette, Casper, Laramie, whoever it may be. But, again, you can't have coaches shaking hands. Can't have players probably touching other players, whether it is slapping hands or whatever it may be. Again, there's going to be a lot of interesting things that this board has to look into of how do we approach games where, again, it's going to be commonplace to go up there, exchange lineup cards, and shake hands. Well, guess what? You can't.
Well, you could fist pump or, touch elbows.
Yeah,
but the thing is, though.
But again, even with the numbers, though, it's something that it'll add up, but it goes down to not only just the state, but again, those local communities, those local cities. Again, you look at what's happening up in Teton County. Hey, guess what? They're still stay at home, but the rest of the state's kind of, hey, let's
but they're going to go out and practice here on Wednesday.
Well,
you heard it from them.
We'll see if that happens.
Okay,
though.
but here's another thing.
But I'm just saying, though, again, with the numbers, though, where that adds up, is that going to fall in line, or at least are those numbers going to be perfectly fine with those health offices in Natrona County, Laramie County, wherever throughout the state, that they're going to go, hey, yeah, we're going to have about 50-plus people on this field minus the fans. Are they even going to allow it?
But that's going to be pro tem for the time being. Again, if the governor relaxes here on the 15th and gets into the phase 2 with a restart, then there's phase 3. What he's going to probably do, our leadership, is going to probably see how everything's going, keep informed with Dr. Alexia Harris, who is a state epidemiologist, and see if the numbers have grown. Is the virus, picking up in certain areas because we have relaxed some of these, situations. The thing is, that's phase 2. Phase 3 could come before Memorial Day, and phase 3 would be, hey, not that we're going to get back to total, but maybe that 50 turns into, hey, moms and dads can come out and watch the games.
Yeah.
That type of deal. So we only have to be, again, you have to be optimistic. We have, you, me, and our listeners.
Be optimistic, but also to be realistic of what's happening.
I am realistic, but the thing is, we have done everything that has been asked of us. We have done it without a fight, and we don't want this to spread. But the thing is, everything that's been asked of us, we have basically kept it in check. Let's be honest, Nick. There have more people died by the flu this year, the regular flu. There's more people that have committed suicide, unfortunately. There's going to be other...
Which, again, those numbers you can argue against.
I know we're going to argue
whatever.
all the way through on this, but we have been asked by our state government, we have obliged, we have not fought back.
Except for some of the protesters out front of the state capitol, but that was about it.
And they have every right to protest because it's in our constitutional amendment. They wanted the governor to understand, hey, in addition to what you've asked us to do, it also it come at a cost. So I think the governor now, as he hopefully will push that restart button here in the next 11 days and open things up a little bit, where like Phil Maggard said, hey, I would love to see two teams. If we can't watch the game, so be it. But I can live without it for a couple of weeks. I
think it's something that you're going to have to realize that probably average Joe fan out there, again, if you have no relation to a player out there, for any team that is competing on Legion Baseball, I'll even toss in Cheyenne Extreme Softball, anything athletic here in the state of Wyoming, you're probably not going to be able to attend.
But see,
I think that's the honest, again, where I talk realistic, you got to get in that mindset. Again, it's not just on the local side, it's also too going to probably go on forward to the pro side as well,
and I agree with
too.
you, but
again, I'm anticipating fall time, especially once we get into the height of football. Don't expect War Memorial Stadium to be fully packed.
I'm looking at, we started with the baby step, then we're going to start walking, and then we're going to run. I think that's what's going to happen.
That run is probably going to come in 2021.
You know what? I disagree. I think by
this
midsummer,
this is going to be too fresh in mind.
And again, we're not even into summer yet. Summer comes in June. So again, let's get through spring, and let's get ready for summer. Let's anticipate we're going to have a summer, and summer includes baseball, softball, running around, riding your bike, whatever the case may be. Going, like you said, kids going out and playing on the recreation equipment, sliding down a slide.
Which again, those signs have not stopped anyone. Again, you even look at the park out.
I understand that, but my
no
point,
one has followed those things.
Go to baby step, walk, then run. I think we're going to hit that run sometime about the first part of June.
You can hope so. You want to be optimistic, but again, it's stuff that is out of our, at least us, me and you and other folks that are tuning in that are don't hold those offices of power, whether it is health official, whether it is here leadership in the city of Cheyenne with the mayor and again governor as well too. Again, it's up to them. It's up to every individual county, every individual city of what they decide on. Where again, could it be a possibility that Cheyenne says no to Post 6? You're not stepping out on those fields. That could be a possibility.
And again, too,
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but again, it's something that Post 6 and folks here in town, and again, that includes Cheyenne Extreme, that includes Triple Crown Wyoming, the other, at least, recreation events that are supposed to be happening at this point in time. You got to realize that could be a possibility.
But also, too, leadership from the top who has said, governors, you take care of it. But I suggest, and again, this is from the president, I suggest that we start getting things reopen. And again, our part of the world, Nebraska, Wyoming, you can throw in the Dakotas, you can throw in Montana, Utah, and to a very lesser degree Colorado because they've had more.
Utah a little bit.
But even Iowa, we can throw in that these states have had the least amount of damage from COVID-19. So we should be able to restart at a quicker pace.
I hope so.
And again, like I said,
but again, as we're seeing it, even here in this state, you look at Teton County as an example. They were the rogue kind of black sheep that said, hey, we're not following the rest of the state. We're doing our own thing. We're going to go above and beyond. We're going to set up those stay-at-home orders like the rest of the nation, or at least some of those major cities and bigger states have done. Again, counties can do it. Again, it's up to those individualized areas that say, hey, Casper, 2 weeks from now could say, we're done. We're not doing it.
That's entirely fine. But
I'm just saying,
when the governor says, hey, gang, let's do phase 2, let's restart, here's what I would like to see.
Yeah.
That's up to the counties, okay?
Yeah.
Again, that's up to the mayors. But the point is, if he feels good and the state epidemiologist, Alexia Harris, feels good about it, then than everybody else should. There's 2 counties still in this state that did not have COVID-19. One of them is Platte County.
Well, not confirmed. Again, it is. Again, you got to play off of
But
that.
we're also too by the 15th.
There could be folks that again had it but did not show the symptoms.
Here's your next test, Nick, coming up on the 15th. We're going to open up our parks to Wyoming folks. Okay?
Yeah.
So, again, we're going to be going out to state
Which
parks.
that causes a whole bunch of other problems as well.
I
too,
understand that, but how many people have been going to Vitavue? How many people have been going out to Crystal and Granite?
that are not even from Wyoming as well, too.
I understand that,
I have no issue with it. Again, go right ahead.
But I'm just saying, we've been already practicing outdoorsy stuff already.
Yeah.
So we're ready to roll here in 11 days.
But again, it's just the main thing is it's out of our hands. It's up to those officials that will they fall in line or at least be a little lax on those regulations or at least these orders, or will they kind of...
No, there's going to be guidelines in place, and I think everybody's going to have to toe the line. That's all there is to it.
We'll see.
Case closed. All right, we do need to take a timeout. We'll come back. A couple things else here that we need to discuss, and then we're going to wrap things up here for this Monday afternoon.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
At First Tier Bank, we are proud to be a member of this great community and will always support all of our high school athletes. First Tier Bank takes great pride in sponsoring the live broadcast of the games and would like to wish all of our teams good luck. We share the credo with Newt Rockney when he said, "One man practicing sportsmanship is far better than 100 teaching it." It's all about the high school sports at First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, Cheyenne. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
The team at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range, directly across from Powers Field and Menards, are proud sponsors of the student-athletes for the 2019-2020 school year for high school and LCCC. Not only do they support the athletes, but they are ready for your next cater-out event, meeting, or gathering. A special thank you to Chick-fil-A and all they do for 1480 KRAE and our sister station KYOI FM during the year. For more information, call Chick-fil-A at 638-4444.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
All you good folks in Laramie and Goshen counties, listen up, please. Cheyenne Urological is now operating a satellite clinic in Torrington at 524 College Drive. Yes, top quality treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence will now be provided by the highly trained staff of Cheyenne Urological in Torrington. So save yourself a trip and take advantage of the same wisdom, compassion, and expertise that served Cheyenne for over 30 years. Call Cheyenne Urological at 307-635-4131.
At Platte Valley Bank, we love to see our customers come through the door. Well, we know life can be busy and you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking products with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, mobile deposit, and now digital wallet. At Platte Valley Bank, you can manage your money how you want, when you want. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Did you know B&B Appliance and TV has a local warehouse where they stock a variety of appliances in a wide range of colors and finishes, including black and white? Their friendly staff realizes that one look isn't for everyone, and appliance shopping isn't always convenient. B&B Appliance offers free in-town delivery and disposal of your old appliances. They'll be there for you after the sale, too, because they always service what they sell. B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Well, the lines for today, mostly sunny with a slight chance for showers and thunderstorms cropping up this afternoon. Expected daytime high near 61. Mostly clear for tonight with a low down to 32. Sunshine on tap for tomorrow. We're calling for a daytime high near 64. And for Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a low down to 35 degrees.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. A couple pieces of business here to chat about. First off, I do want to pass along, if you did not hear, head football coach Don Shula, who had a great career coaching in the National Football League, first with the Baltimore Colts, and then wrapping up with the Miami Dolphins. He passed away peacefully.
Part of the perfect season, Miami Dolphins.
90 years young for Don Shula. 3-3 in Super Bowls. 3 wins with the Miami Dolphins, and he had 2 losses with the Dolphins. I do believe, let's see, one was to, I know, the 49ers at Stanford Stadium, and then also the New York Jets in Super Bowl III defeated the very powerful Baltimore Colts back then. But again, you mentioned the 17-0 team, the likes of Larry Zonka, Jim Kick, Mercury Morris, Paul Warfield, Nick Bonacani, Manny Fernandez, Howard Twilley. You go right down the list. Mark Fleming. I mean, this was a great team. They were 17-0. You can never take anything away. Realistically, we look at teams that have come close. Patriots were the last team to come close. 49ers at one time were 18-1.
Yeah.
So again, nobody has gone that perfect season.
I don't think anyone at this point again.
Boy, that's going to be tough. The balance.
But also
in the
too,
NFL.
it's like who cares if you go perfect in the NFL? Are you expected to? Does it mean that the 72 Dolphins are the greatest team to ever play the game of football, or at least be a part of the NFL? I don't think so.
They won a couple of games by the hair of their chin. But again, that's the season 2. And again, you weren't born. Obviously, I was 13. This is the season where Bob Greasy got hurt. Earl Morrall, the former Baltimore Colt quarterback, came in and directed them all the way to the Super Bowl. Then Bob Greasy directed them to that 14-7 win over a weak Washington Redskins offense led by Billy Kilmer. That was back in Super Bowl VII. Shula won an NFL record 347 games, and again lost to the Vikings, to the who else did they lose to? Oh, they lost to the Redskins. I take it back. They lost to the Redskins and the 49ers and the New York Jets. So, again, that was when he was at Baltimore, and his 3 wins included over the Vikings, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Washington Redskins.
So yeah, that news came out, I do believe, earlier today.
Yeah, it's a sad day because, again, what maybe you don't understand, and possibly guys around my age, again, this is part of our youth. This is when we were growing up. This is when Super Bowl was in its infancy back in the day.
Yeah.
And guys like Don Shula, who, I don't know, was his offense exciting? Not really. I mean, his defense. I mean, it was a no-name defense that won him Super Bowls, but it was an interesting scenario that he had when he was there in Miami. Again, Coach Bob Greasy goes into Dan Marino, Dan Marino takes a team that was okay and makes them Super Bowl bound. But then they found out when they played the 49ers that 49ers were a machine at that time. So, anyway, Don Shula passed away at the age of 90.
I do want to pass along at least, again, something that was announced before, at least that. Again, that news came out earlier today, but something that came over the weekend that regards at least kind of the region out here, the Rocky Mountain, or at least the High Plains, that being the Expedition League. And we'll talk with President Steve Wagner coming up on Wednesday's show, so looking forward to that and getting his thoughts and talking with what's going on. But Expedition League, that was supposed to get underway May 26th. Marquee matchup as well to start off the season that was involved at least two kind of locale teams, that being the Casper Horseheads and the Western Nebraska Pioneers. Well, unfortunately, the start of that season has been pushed back due to, again, restrictions, guidelines throughout multiple states, again, where this Expedition League competes in not only the state of Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, even participates in Canada as well, too. That Canada team as well, too, our understanding from the press release that happened over a few days ago, that was passed down by Steve Wagner in the Expedition League. That Canada team is now forced to at least play their games. I do believe it's in one of the Dakotas, but I think they're going to play it in South Dakota. So, again, their home games will no longer be across the border. Instead, they will now at least station in South Dakota. But, again, we'll get more information on that Wednesday with Steve Wagner. But again, another kind of thing, at least another athletic event or athletic league having to delay the start of their season due to what is happening. No surprise, but interested to see what they're going to do to move forward. Is it going to be too late for them to start up, or are they going to be able to get again? The key thing right now for the Expedition League,
they have to be done by the first part of August, Nick.
Well, and again, the scenario right now with the Expedition League is you got players coming in not just from those local areas, not here in the region, but again throughout the entire U.S., if not maybe some international players as well too. Have not seen the full rosters for all these teams. Again, you have players that are going to be coming from, from California, from Chicago, from New York City, possibly Florida, some of these major markets that
are they
might
be quarantined.
Yeah, again, will they be able to even come out and play baseball? Are they going to be quarantined? Do they even want to come and play baseball due to the fact of what's happening around the world? Again,
the do you part, yeah, they do want to come out and play ball, but
again, you're assuming, but again, there could be some players that are probably terrified by this and say, no, I don't want to play right now. I'm afraid of catching this thing or at least compromising in some way, shape, or form. There are going to be players like that, but it's going to be interesting to see how the Expedition League kind of moves forward. What's it going to look like this summer for that league of how baseball operates? Are they anticipating losing personnel? Are they anticipating? I know some of those organizations also too get some of their internships from out of the state, from out of this region. Will they have to now look for members of those staffs to come on out and be a part of these teams? And is that something that's going to take some time?
Don't know.
Again, going to be interested to talk with
them.
Well,
if anything, if they do get a go ahead, we're looking probably about the first part of June, so it's going to be a very, very short season. Do want to mention a couple of things. First off, being behind the scenes, as we've been doing a lot of things here to help out during COVID-19. One of them was our radiothon that we did on both 1480 KRAE and over in our sister station KYY, and that was with all the local radio operators. $500,000 we raised on that 24-hour period. So again, thank you to the Cheyenne contingent that was very prominent in pledging some money for that. Again,
Food Bank of the Rockies,
Bank
which
of the
again,
Rockies,
it covers not only just the state of Colorado, but again also to Wyoming. I think it extends also to in the state of Montana. So, but again, those funds that were raised here, or at least through us, again go directly to the state of Wyoming,
right.
Also to the local food bank here in Cheyenne. But again, it went to a larger food bank that kind of operates or distributes throughout the entire region.
Well, and again, too, as we've been behind the scenes, again, promoting shop local, again, help out our local businesses. We talk about them all the time over on our sister station, KYY. But Nick has put together a little program that'll be coming up here this Friday evening. I will be back at the house, so Nick trying to coordinate a couple just couple of loose ends, but other than what's going to be happening, that should go on without any difficulty. You got the quote unquote parade route all mapped out.
Yeah, I did that well, at least beforehand of announcing what was going on. But yes, coming up this Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. So it gives you time where a lot of the high schools throughout the nation, including here in town, Central, East, South, they've been Friday around 8:20 because, again, military 20, it's 2020. So they are doing, you can at least light up the lights over at their Risky Field at Okie Blanchard, also too at South High. So again, we did it beforehand where folks can be a part of our cruising opportunity, but also to head on over to those high schools if you want to do that as well too. But 6 to 8 p.m. Friday, this Friday, Cruise in Cheyenne. It is Cruise in Cheyenne 2020, where we are going to be raising funds. We're hoping for mainly online, but again, there will be options for those to at least drop off cash or check payments. Again, this is all going towards the at least cause that is happening here in the city of Cheyenne. It is the Forward Greater Cheyenne COVID-19 Emergency Relief Fund. Again, these are funds that are distributed to folks here in town that are in need. Again, they have to go online and just kind of give an email, and this is all through the at least Chamber of Commerce here in the city of Cheyenne. But again, this Friday, 6 to 8 p.m., we're encouraging folks to cruise downtown Cheyenne and listen to the greatest hits on the planet, which is KYOY 92.3 FM and 107.1 FM, or the classic oldies here on 1480 KRAE, 1480 AM, 101.1 FM. Again, as we are looking to raise funds during that time for the Greater Cheyenne Relief Fund, again, where it's either online, which you can go to forwardgreatercheyenne.org. Again, they have it listed on the upper bar there of that website. Again, it's forwardgreatercheyenne.org, or again, that link is posted directly on the Facebook page for KYY or 1480 KRAE of how you go and click on that. We also, too, will have designated deposit boxes where you can put cash or checks. Those checks will be made out to the Greater Cheyenne Chamber of Commerce Foundation. Again, all this information is online. Again, the map as well, too, where you will start at the corner of Warren and Lincoln Way. Again, that one way, go up to 24th, take a left, go on down Central. You're just following the one-ways, following the map, and you'll eventually end at Pioneer and Lincoln Way. The drop-off locations is going to be just north, at least one of them, north of the State Museum there on the corner of Warren and also to near 24th, and the other one will be next to the Cheyenne Police Department, or at least that police facility there near Pioneer and at least West 18th. So those are the drop-off locations. So that's what's happening. Again, we encourage folks to come on out, join us for those 2 hours, listen as if it was like the old days of where you go on those car sock hops and enjoy the music. Request line will be open. You have that number?
Yeah, we got two of them for you. 514-1071 for KRAE and 637. Let's put them all on the same one.
Let's put it all on the same one since it's going to be.
How about 307-637-0328?
So, again, that is coming.
I'm sorry, your son over here is messing me up.
Boo-hoo. Again, the dog that, again, big shout out and thank you to Cheyenne Animal Shelter, where, again, they were shut down for a couple of weeks due to one of their employees having COVID, or at least testing positive for it. They recently opened up, at least went and adopted Sweet Boy over there, where, again, you, day one, didn't want any part of him, and here you are playing with him.
Well, yeah, because I knew who was going to end up taking care of him. Me.
You haven't done anything, so.
Oh, yeah. There's a thing called landmines out in the backyard, dude.
Yeah, whatever.
Try doing that one.
But anyways, though, again, the Cruise in Cheyenne 2020, again, a fundraiser for the Ford Greater Cheyenne COVID-19 Relief Fund. Again, it's the emergency relief fund going to folks here in town locally to help out. Also, too, again, we're going to also, too, help support local businesses as well, too. We'll be playing some ads or at least some promos for local businesses, whether it is downtown or at least throughout the city of Cheyenne, promoting this relief fund and also to the local businesses here in Cheyenne.
All right, well, we're going to wrap it up here just a couple, 3 minutes early. I got to go wash my hands. I got to,
You got no input on the Cruise in Cheyenne?
No, I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to being back here and running around like a madman and playing all these requests.
Like I said, it's just like the old days. You just call your local disc jockey, go cruise and enjoy. Again, Go out there with
hear your
friends and
favorite song. You know, it's I can't do the Wolfman Jack one, but I'll tell you what, we'll have a lot of fun here on 1480 KRAE. So, with that all being said, we want to thank again our guest that we had, Tyler Poslosky, who joined us from the Wyoming Tribune Eagle, again, sports writer there, again, giving his insights on and some opinions. And then we also want to thank, most recently, Phil Maggard, Cheyenne Post 6 Baseball Board President. So a lot of things to talk about, really, and we did in a very short period of time. There's a lot of things that we left undone today. So we'll be back at it again here. We're starting to see the
Will we have a
forest through
show
the trees
tomorrow?
right
Probably
now.
not, but again, we have at least one guest Wednesday. We might have more, so again,
Right.
it is just kind of stay tuned on the social media sides, whether it is Facebook.com/WildSportsTalk, at least Twitter, @NickWildSports. Again, that's where you want to tune in to make sure all the information regarding Wyoming Sports Talk today, any athletics that we may be bringing during the summertime, potentially as well. Also, to, again, Facebook.com/KYYFM. Facebook.com/1480 KRAE. That's where you go. It's all pinned at the top. All of this is also pinned on all four of those social media sites for those Cruisin' Cheyenne, at least the Cruisin' Cheyenne 2020 fundraiser coming up this Friday, again, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So that's how you find out more information. Again, the detailed post, the map as well, too, is all online for folks to view.
Bottom line, be there. Aloha. All right, for Nick Proetti, I'm Pops Proetti. We're saying good evening. Have a wonderful Monday.